What does it take to overcome a chronic illness and still thrive as a multiple sports athlete? Today, we're talking to someone who done just that. Stick around because Kaira journeys from softball to basketball despite her challenges with leaving inspired and ready to tackle their own obstacles. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Full Court Dreams, the Underdawgs Voice. I'm your host, Coach Q, and today we have a very special guest who faced more than her fair share of challenges, but continue to rise above them. So let's welcome Kaira to the show. Did I pronounce it right that time? No? Kaira to the show. I told you I always get it messed up. Kaira to the show. Thank you for joining. I always get it. I don't know why, but maybe I'm just trying to say it how I think it's spelled. Thanks for joining us. I always get her name. I be in the game calling it out wrong.
I think at a certain point you just started calling me Kai or K.
Right. Oh my gosh. Hey, so what's going on?
Nothing. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to share my story.
Yeah, is that good enough for you?
Yeah.
I can pull it up.
Okay.
Because it's real, like these microphones, they're real, like you can hear far away, but I gotta make sure I hear you in the headphones. You can hear me right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is it recording? Oh, yes, it is. Good. Like the background, like my wife just done that. Like she just painted the black wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was like, I'm gonna paint I can't do nothing without her input. All this was like in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, well, why don't you move that desk over there? And we're going to put the TV up on the wall and put your stuff back here. That's where you're not in the middle of the floor. Then I'll paint the wall black. I'm like,
make sure it looks official.
Right. I'm like, all right, then go ahead, do your thing. I ain't arguing with you, woman. I ain't arguing with you, woman. I ain't no, and I ain't finished yet either, so I'm trying to do more. I might get some, this guy said they got like, soundproof drywall. So I'm thinking about getting some soundproof drywall in here. All right. Enough talk about, the setup and thing. Let's get into your exciting story. All right, Kay. So before we dive into your journey, I gotta ask you, like I ask everyone else that comes on my show, what does being an underdog means to you?
Well, I think an underdog is somebody who always fights for what they want in life. Like, they might not always be seen or always be recognized all the time, but behind the scenes, they're working to prove to not just everybody else, but to themselves that they're just as capable of doing what anybody else can do.
Woo! I love that. Y'all heard that? Good. That was a wonderful, wonderful meaning of an underdog. Like everybody coming here with their own meanings from one word to 2 words to a whole paragraph to the nightly edition and everything to that meaning of an underdog. But that was a real good meaning. I really love that. So, sports have been a big part of your life.
Yes.
All right, big part of your life. Ever since you was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Right. Ever since you was like five. Whew. Starting with softball at 5 years old.
Well, first it was like baseball, t-ball, all boys team, and then when I was like 9, 10, my dad switched me to softball.
Oh, okay. Softball. So, you liked it from the bat, from off? Oh, look, pun intended. Off the bat. So you liked it off the bat?
Yes, like I think I started playing softball because my dad, he used to play with his coworkers. So sometimes he'd pick me up from school and take me to his games and watch him play. And I just remember one day in the car, I said, well, can I play? And then the next thing you know, he signed me up. And then just after that, I guess I just really fell in love with the sport. And plus he coached me. So he was also teaching me how to play at the same time. Oh,
all right. So did you play with him and his coworkers? Did you ever get a chance to play with him?
I don't think that was gonna happen.
Why? Y'all still he don't play no more?
No, not anymore. But at the time, I don't think he would have let me because let's say if I get hurt or something, then I had to go home to mom and be like, "Well, Dad let me do this," but
yeah, mom ain't playing. Why you let my baby out there?
Exactly.
Don't let me hit them all and stuff. I don't even have my baby doing all that. Yeah. Oh yeah. So, how did basketball come about? How did you know it was softball and basketball? So how did basketball come about?
I think middle school when I first got to Concordia is when I really considered playing basketball in sixth grade. I've been there since sixth grade.
Oh, okay.
And I started playing. Obviously, I didn't really know what I was doing. Like I never really watched basketball before that. I was just like, oh, it's a new sport. Like I was kind of interested. Like I played outside with friends, that kind of thing. But I think it was around the 2015 finals. Dad came in the room and he was like, "Oh, you should watch the 2015 finals with the Warriors and the Cavs." And he was like, "You gotta watch this guy, Steph Curry. Like he lighting it up." I turned on the TV and I don't know, like something about Steph Curry just like really stuck out to me. I guess it's because like he was really small, like smaller than everybody else,
Right.
having these handles crossing people up, shooting threes that way out there, like ridiculous. And I was just like, okay, like I want to be able to do that. Like he's small, I'm a smaller person. Like I've always been the smallest person on my team, or like the smallest person everywhere I go. So I'm like, oh, like he has a lot of confidence now. I want to do what he.
Okay, Steph. Look at you, Steph. Go ahead. You're influencing the kids, Steph. Hey, you changed the game. Now everybody want to shoot threes. Every time you go in the gym, ain't nobody shooting no layups. Everybody want to shoot threes. You and that Doug on Caitlin Clark. All just now everybody just in the gym shooting from half court, thinking they can shoot. I was like, you don't sit your tail down. You can't even shoot. Your form not even right. Oh, so the 2015 finals is what got you inspired in taking basketball serious after watching Steph, huh? All right, then. Yeah, you had a little jump shot. So what? So you faced a lot of challenges dealing with basketball and other sports and stuff like that. So can you share some of those challenges and how you overcame them?
One of the challenges is obviously like physically, I'm shorter than everybody else. Okay. So everybody is gonna be 9 times out of 10 bigger than me or stronger than me. So I have to use other ways that I could keep up with everybody. But other obstacles that I face, I feel like there were times where I wasn't valued as a player. I wasn't even considered, you know, either like worthy enough to play on the, like play during a actual game, or I was just like overlooked sometimes. So
you think all that was because of your size?
I don't think all of that was because of my size. Well, size could play into it, but I don't really think it was because of my size. I like to think that, yeah, like I'm physically challenged, but like I could still do what everybody else does. Like I could still keep up. I'm still going to work my hardest just like everybody else.
Yeah, we'll get into that later, people. So you're going to have to stick around for that part. Nah. We ain't talking about that right now. So stick around. All right. So you pushed through those challenges, right?
Yeah.
So you decided to pursue college softball, and that was big, huh? So how did that work out? What was that process like?
So this was senior year playing with you. I know you had mentioned like, oh, like who's thinking about playing college basketball? And before senior year, I had thought about playing college basketball. I really did. But to me, in my opinion, basketball was never I always said basketball was always my secondary sport. Even though I love both sports the same, I'm better at softball than I am at basketball.
Okay.
And it was kind of like a last minute decision. I feel like I probably should have, thinking back on it now, I probably should have thought it out more. But senior year, I had already decided where I was going to go to school.
Right.
But I said, I don't want to go to school and not play a sport.
Right.
I've been playing a sport for so long, going into college without playing a sport just didn't seem right to me. And I wanted to continue playing a sport. There wasn't any club, softball teams, anything. So I was just like, I'm going to kind of push my luck, but not really push my luck. Like I had confidence in myself, but I was just like, softball is my dominant sport. Softball is something that I'm really passionate about. So why not try to play softball at a high level? And obviously, since I had already picked what school I was going to, it wasn't like I was being recruited. I was just like, it's just going to have to be as a walk-on.
Right.
The process with that was highs and lows. It was really rocky. My freshman year, I had reached out to the coach and I said, hey, my name is such and such, and I'm thinking about trying out for your softball program. Will you be having tryouts this year? She responded to me, sent me the tryout pack, and it was like, tryouts is going to be on this date. So in my head, I was just like, okay, I have this amount of time to get myself prepared to, try out.
Right.
Unfortunately, a week before tryouts, I got really sick.
Oh, okay.
I was hospitalized, and all I could think about was, I don't think this is gonna work out.
Right.
But come to find out, we had like a really bad snowstorm, so she had emailed me like a couple days later and was just like, we're not gonna be able to have tryouts. There's no makeup date. So
snowstorm.
Yeah, North Carolina.
So where was tryouts?
Tryouts were at first they were gonna be in November, but after Christmas break, I want to say it was probably like January, February.
Oh, that's when they started tryouts.
That's when she said the tryouts were going to be. They were originally going to be in November, and then she rescheduled them to like January, February.
November?
Which is, like right before Thanksgiving.
So when did softball season start in college?
Softball season, technically, softball is a spring sport. So technically, you could probably say that they might be practicing or working out in February. But March is like when they really start locking down, and then probably like late March, early April is when like season officially starts.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm like, starting all in November. They be inside playing catch.
Yeah, but I also think that during that time, I didn't practice as much as I should have. So me trying to rush and get myself together to be able to try out overwork my body. And I end up getting sick. So the fact that she canceled tryouts, like I was gonna be bummed regardless if I wasn't gonna try out because of my health. But my health is more important, and that's what my parents were telling me. Like, you don't need to worry about softball right now. Like,
take care of your health first.
Your health comes first. But since she canceled it, I didn't feel as bad. So I'm just like, I'm gonna try again the following year. I did try out my sophomore year.
Okay.
And I didn't make it, unfortunately.
What?
It really broke me down. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it really took a toll because I'm just like, okay, like my second year of college is really starting to sink in. Like, I'm not playing a sports. Like, sports has always been there. So now that it was getting taken away, it was just kind of hard. It frustrated me a little bit. But things happen. You move on.
Did you ain't try to manage the team? Like, just try to be a part?
I asked. She was like, she sent out an email and was like, oh, like, unfortunately you didn't make the team, but we still have like manager opportunities. Email the assistant coach. I did. Didn't hear back. Nothing. And come to find out, like not too long after, she's not even the coach anymore.
Or the assistant coach or the head coach?
Head coach.
So after that, she wasn't the head coach no more?
Something like after that season, she was gone. They were looking for another softball coach.
Oh, why you didn't apply for the job? To be softball coach.
That's a big responsibility. That's huge.
Hey, you applied for the job to be the softball coach.
Never thought about that one.
Oh, wow.
And this past year, my junior year, I said, I'm going to give it one more shot. Because come this year, my senior year, that's not saying that it's impossible, but playing at a D1 level as a senior walk-on, that's It's kind of possible, but it's kind of challenging, and you're gonna be like 1 year, and then you're done.
Hey, well, look, I got a girl that's about to play basketball for 1 year.
High school,
Yes, like
senior year.
Yeah, look, and the funny thing about this story is that, so I called her last year, talked to her and her mom. Now, first time talking to her and her mom. Well, you'll get the gist of the story. It's not really the first time I ever talked to her and her mom. But so they was like, oh, there's this big girl in here. She about 6'2". She don't never want to play. I said, all right, I'm gonna talk to her mom and get her to play this year. 11th grade year. Talk to her mom. I'm like, yeah, she need to do something. She need to play. Talk to her. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna play. She moved. So she ain't play. And still going to the school. Right. But she still goes to the school. So through the whole school year, I never seen this girl. I never seen her through the whole school year. Everybody else seen her and asked her. She's like, well, I just can't play this year because, we're moving around. And so this summer, she had contacted my assistant coach, like, I really want to play this year. Now I want to start working out, when the summertime comes. I'm like, why are you waiting until the summertime to start working out? Like, you need to work out now. You ain't played basketball in 5 years. Yeah, she ain't played in 5 years. So I get her to work out. So she comes to the gym. So she comes to the gym, I see her. And then her mother walks in. And I'm like, oh my God. Her mother's like, girl, that's your cousin. Right. I ain't see her since she was little. But I know, I seen her mother, but I ain't know she was her mother. Cause I ain't seen her since she was little. She's like, girl, that's family. That's your cousin. I'm like, girl, if I would have known that, your tail would have been in the gym. Like, I wouldn't have took no, and I'd been dragging you to the gym if I would have known that. So her uncle is married to my cousin, and they all go to the same church and all that stuff. So I knew her since she was, little. Now she's 6 foot senior, and now you want to play basketball. I'm like,
did she play any other sport, or it was just
no? She didn't play nothing. She didn't play nothing. I think she was following her boyfriend around last year. That's why she want to play. But now that he graduated, now she want to play. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. So going through that process, you mentioned about you being sick and stuff like that. So, what was you dealing with at that time? I don't want to. You say it to the people out there in La La Land. So you let them know. I'm not gonna say what it is. So listen up, people. So you talk about it.
I have sickle cell anemia, not the sickle cell trait. I have sickle cell anemia, the full blown disease.
Yeah. Okay. So how has that affected your sports journey, and what measurements do you take to manage it? Because I think I got the trait, and I think my son has the trait. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I know I don't know how it is to have the full blown thing, but I know a little bit about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And things like that, and how it can affect you. So just talk about how it affects your sports journey, and what measurements do you take to, while you play.
How has it really affected my sports journey? I honestly think that it hasn't really that much.
Oh, okay.
I use sports as an outlet, and I think that me being able to play sports made me feel normal. Right. And when I say normal, I mean not having to deal with an illness every day, or not having to take medication every day, just to make sure that you're okay and that your health is on top. I think having sickle cell and just still being able to play sports makes me stronger, because there are a lot of people with sickle cell that aren't allowed to aren't allowed to play sports or participate in any physical activity because of the risk of overexertion or things. Like, for instance, overexertion is a really big thing. Like, if I say to a coach, like, oh, I'm can't breathe, or like I need a break, because pushing it could really flip the switch in an instant, or gotta. It's like it's a whole lot of things that other people without an illness they don't have to worry about.
Right.
I think, like I said, I just think sports make me stronger. I don't like when I play sports. I feel like everything's fine. I don't have to worry about nothing. There have been times where I've missed out on a game or practice or something like that due to my health. But and when that happens, I'm gonna be honest, it feels like everything crashes.
Right.
Like everything, it's not even just like a physical thing. It's also a mental and emotional thing. Like I feel like I have to reset. I have to really reevaluate what I'm doing and think about what did I do to get sick and what steps can I take in the future to make sure that this doesn't happen. Like mentioning the trying to try out for softball my freshman year at college. I got sick for a week because of my sickle cell, and that was a real shock to me because before I hadn't gotten really sick that bad in like 10 years.
Wow.
Thanks to my doctors and the medications that I'm on, but I think me trying to rush and get myself together to be able to play sports, I think I overexerted myself, and it hit me all at one time. Or even just the mental aspect of it. If I stress out too much, I could get sick. Like my body will
shut down.
Yeah, it will shut down, and it'll let you know, like, hey, like you gotta chill out.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're able to play, and stay healthy while playing. So, let's talk about even with dealing with that, playing at Concordia. Right. So let's go back to, you playing sports at Concordia, both softball and baseball. Playing at Concordia had its ups and downs. So, what was that experience like, and how did it shape you as an athlete? Both on both sides, basketball and like softball.
I feel like both sports gave me confidence and courage, and also realized who I am as a person, and also made me better as a person. From the softball aspect of it, I'm gonna be honest. Softball at Concordia and basketball at Concordia were two different experiences.
You're not told me.
Were two different experiences for me. On the softball side of it, I had so much fun playing. Like I look forward to practice. I look forward to games. I was just really riled up, amped up to play. The coaches were like coaches. I love my coaches. Like they were amazing, and they helped me. Like even though yes, like this is my dominant sport. Like I know how to play, but they still
mold you.
Yeah, they still molded me to improve in things that I could do better. And I also liked helping other players on my team, like those that might not know the game as well. I just liked helping them out, and like we feed off of each other. Basketball, on the other hand, now that sport gave me a whole lot of courage and confidence to this day. Like thinking, like sometimes I have random flashbacks. I'm like, wow, I really went through that. Since Concordia is a smaller school, for instance, softball, there's only varsity.
Oh, okay.
There was never a JV. When I started playing basketball at Concordia, freshman year, it was just a varsity. Sophomore year was just a varsity. And then the last 2 years, it was a JV and a varsity. More people started playing and showing interest.
Why do you think that was? Why do you think your 11th grade, 12th grade year, more kids started wanting to play, basketball. To your softball year, your last 2 years, did y'all win a championship?
We went to the championship my senior year. Unfortunately, we came second place.
Oh wow,
that hurt. So
I thought someone did 11th grade year too.
My 11th grade year, that was COVID.
Oh yeah.
So we didn't even we didn't get a season. Basketball, yes, we did get a season, but softball season literally started, or was supposed to start when everything shut down. So yeah, there was no softball my junior year. Senior year, we did make it to the championship. Man, I wish.
So what was the score of that game? It was a tough game.
Yeah, we played Friends. Friends is that school. Like every other team, like.
But then y'all played them during the regular season too? Or?
We did. Every time when it came to Friends, it was always either they blow us out, or like my senior year, we kept up with them. We did lose to them in the regular season, but it was because, I'm gonna be honest, their pitcher was the reason why they.
She could pitch.
Yeah. Yeah. She was tall, kind of like little heavy set girl. She could throw.
Well, she was throwing like 90 miles an hour fastball.
No. If she doing that, she don't need to be at Friends. She need to be in another school, ACOF or something. But she's what held them together. And I think her pitching is really what tripped us up as a team. Like trying to catch on to the timing of her pitches, and like as a pitcher, like you have different pitches: fastball, curveball, slider, if you can throw a slider in softball. But yeah, she's what held them together. But our championship game, I think it was close at first. When we first started, it was they were on top. Then we started coming back, and then we were battling, but like her pitching is really what held them together to the end. So if I had to take a guess, it wasn't a blowout. I want to say the score had to be close, 7-5, maybe. But yeah, it was a little disappointing, but it builds character.
So was Emma playing that year?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think that was.
Emma was like a freshman that year, right?
Yes, because Molly is in my grade. Yeah. So I think she's 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because Emma come out this year.
Freshman.
Yeah, Emma goes. She's going to Hood this year.
Yeah, Molly goes Hood, right?
I think so. Yeah, Molly goes
they're going to be playing volleyball together. I think that's so cool.
But the thing is, they playing the same position.
Oh wow.
They playing. So I told her, like, so you're coming out. I mean, your sister's going out, and you're coming in. Yeah, to fill that spot. Like, so my stepdaughter, she used to cheerlead, so she went to Pikesville. So I said, I think you need to take up another sport besides cheerleading. So I said, I think you'll be a real good softball player. She's like, I've never played softball before. So that summer, we went to the store. We brought her a softball bat and a glove, and during the summer I worked with her playing softball.
You play softball?
Who?
You?
I was okay. I played baseball.
I mean, it's the same thing.
But I watched a lot of people play softball, and I played softball, but I it was like for fun. But I knew how to play baseball, so I was teaching her and my son at the same. Because my son wanted to play baseball, and he wanted to play baseball. He wanted to play everything, but he wanted to play baseball. So I took her, and she made varsity her first as a freshman.
Wow!
As a freshman, she made varsity, and I told her, like, then she went to Salisbury, and I thought she was going to play softball in college at Salisbury because I was like, she got really good, but she decided to cheerlead at Salisbury instead of play softball, and she just had a baby.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations!
Thanks. She just had a baby boy. I told him he gonna call me Tupac. People were like, Tupac? I say no. Tupac. So they're like, why are they calling you? Why you gonna have the baby call you Tupac? I said, because I'm a stepfather. So her father is the first grandfather, and I'm the second one. So you gonna call me Tupac?
That's cool.
Yeah, see, look,
I thought it was because you like Tupac or something.
I do like Tupac, but I'm a Tupac. But I think like
cool.
Nobody has that name. I like to be original sometimes, so nobody has
Pop.
There's Pop and all that. You go call me Tupac. It's like Tupac. So yeah, my wife got babysit Thursday because her birthday coming. So he was just over here yesterday though. He was over here yesterday. Funny. He's funny. He is real funny. Like a month and a couple of weeks old now. About to be 2 months. They about to be 2 months. Yeah. About to be 2 months. So we talked about softball, basketball. So yeah, I was, you elaborated on it a little bit, but what about basketball at Concordia? Yeah.
Basketball.
First couple of years.
Like freshman, sophomore?
Yeah.
I want to say basketball at Concordia for me was rocky all the way. Freshman year, it was only a varsity team. That was it. So I wouldn't say we really had, we had tryouts, but it seemed like everybody end up making a team. It's just whether you get time or not.
Right.
I played, I think our very first game was against Mount Carmel. I played. It was okay. I mean, I like this as a step up from middle school basketball. Middle school basketball, just basketball. It really doesn't count. It counts, but it doesn't. It's not like you have playoffs.
It depends on what middle school you're at.
Yeah, it depends. But I guess at the time.
Oh, you talking about middle school at Concordia?
Yeah,
yeah.
It was just you play, and then that's it. But you're not really working towards playoff championship, that kind of thing. I played, and then there was in my head. You always got to play with confidence. You always got to think I could do what everybody else does. Even if my skills might not be as good as everybody else, who says that I can't work just as hard, or I can't work to be like them, or even better. Right. So I started playing. Practice every day. Played that one game. Okay, cool. Then after that, I didn't really play anymore. If not the whole season, rode the bench. And you can ask my dad. You ask how did the game go? We won. We lost. Did you play? No.
Even with blowout games when y'all was blowing teams out.
Yeah.
And you still ain't play?
Nope.
Yo.
It kind of broke my confidence just a little bit, because it wasn't even I was the only freshman on the team.
Right.
There was plenty other freshmen that were playing. And I don't mean to be like this, but I feel like favoritism kind of really played a factor, but that's fine.
But that's because you wasn't one of the girls they brought in?
Yeah, some of the girls that were in my grade, he knew them. I think they used to play with him his rec league or whatever at before. At Bel Air, and then he brought them to Concordia, so he already knew what they could do, so he was playing them. But that's perfectly fine. If you know that you have solid players that they're gonna do this for you, do that. So after freshman year, I spent time over the summer and even in the fall, working on my own, whether that be going to the gym just to get my endurance up. Because I'm gonna be honest, running is hard. Running felt like a chore.
Yeah.
Running felt like a chore. But basketball is literally running up and down the court, so there's really no other choice that you have.
But a lot of people punish people in running. Hey, you gonna run? I don't do that. I just put people out of the gym. I don't.
You didn't really play no games.
Right. It wasn't running gets you better. You don't want to be here at practice and get out the gym. I ain't making you run. When we running for a purpose, and that's for you to get in shape. I'm not running to punish you. And I think that's why a lot of kids don't like to run now, because they see it as a punishment. And I think a lot of people's doing it wrong, has been doing it wrong all these years. Because if you think about the science and the mental part of something, if somebody tell you to do something as a punishment, you're not going to want to do that thing. So if somebody telling you, if you don't do this, I'm going to make you run, then I'm not going to want to run. When I need to run. Right. Because now psychologically is a punishment. So I'm not going to give it my all when it's time for me to run. So I don't do that. I used to do it, and I said, then I read up about it, and that's one thing it said when I read up about it, like how subconsciously kids think it's a punishment. So they don't give it their all when they do it.
Like, for instance, we would have like, okay, so if you miss like 3 free throws, something like that, then you got to run a suicide, like that kind of punishment, or
no. So I, if we playing a game and a person lose, or it's 5-on-5, so I'll be like, whoever lose, that team got to tell the other team what to do. Like it could be runner, it could be.
Oh yeah, I remember you did that with
us. So that type, but for you to be lollygagging in practice, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, get on the line and run." No, get out. Like
I'm not really putting no effort.
You're not putting no.
You really don't care.
Why are you here?
Right.
So I'm not gonna punish the whole team because you lollygagging. Like you either gonna run or you just gonna go home. Like right. So, that's the type of punishment I'm talking about. Like somebody ain't going hard enough, and you just talking about, hey, everybody go on the line and run. Nah. I literally last year I put the whole team out the gym. The whole team. I say, yo, practice over, everybody get out. So some of the girls are like, but coach, it ain't us. We go. I said, I do not care. If ain't nobody gonna step up and say nothing, but everybody just go home and get out. Well, you ain't gonna waste my time. My time precious. You gonna practice, you gonna get out my gym. But that's how it is in college. Like these girls think these coaches gonna put up with it, and even the guys think these coaches gonna put up. No, it's either, dude, call your parents and tell them to come and get you. Like, give me your scholarship. I'm gonna give it to somebody else.
Right, who wants it more.
So, and then the NCAA added 15, D1 have added 15 scholarships to their rosters now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't think it's good because they got to think about it. You adding 2 more scholarships, you already get 13. Out of the 13 scholarship players, 7 of them or 8 of them on most teams are going to play. Right. The rest of them not going to play that much, right? They're going to have to work for their playing time. So now you adding 2 more spots. So that's 15 kids getting all them kids not playing.
Right.
So you're going to be giving people scholarships to be
just to sit on the bench.
Just to sit on the bench to be practice players. So that's why kids nowadays got to ask, all right, I'm getting this scholarship and it's 15 of us. What am I here for? Am I just going to be if I'm going to ride the bench and be a practice player most of the time, or what? That's the questions I think kids going to have to ask now, because 15 people on the team, it's hard to do that in high school. And I had 15 last year, but I had 15 because in high school somebody gonna fail off the team, so to cover my butt, to cover my butt, because I need everybody to cover my butt. I had 15 girls last year. Trust when I believe me, like half of blowouts, they got playing time. But when we play hard teams, I went like 8 deep. I ain't go no more than 8 or 9 deep when we played against hard teams. I went with the best 9 players that was going to play that game that day. Yeah. So Concordia, you didn't get that much playing time. Sophomore year,
I did. I started to play, started school a little bit, do a little something. I feel like they realized a little bit that, she could hold her own on the court. Like,
I should play defense.
Yeah. Like if we need her to do something, like she could do it. Like she's going to work hard and make sure like she do what we ask. And I think that was a high for me when it came to Concordia basketball. I'm like, okay, like I'm starting to prove myself, but that doesn't mean get comfortable. I'm like, okay, come the next year. Yeah, I already got her.
Right.
That's not what that meant for me.
Right.
But it was sophomore year. Out of all 4 years at Concordia playing high school basketball, that was my favorite one.
Sophomore year?
Yeah, that was my favorite one because I feel like I said in the beginning, like being an underdog, sometimes like you're not always recognized. And I'm not saying I was playing for recognition,
Right.
but I was playing to show that I deserve to be here just like everybody else.
Okay.
But when we talk about junior year, I feel like that sophomore year high peak
About to go down.
went all the way down.
Junior year was when COVID started, right?
Yeah, so we did end up having a season. Like, yeah, we did have a full season, and then, like I said, I didn't have a softball season because, let me see, everything shut down in what, March of 2020.
Yeah.
So I think we had like maybe a week of softball practice, and was supposed to have a play day, which is like a little tournament, like full of scrimmages.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get to have that because that weekend that we were supposed to have it, COVID, yeah.
So your junior year before COVID hit, was that when the people from IND started coming, or was that your senior year? Because when did I get there? Your junior year or your senior year?
I think it was senior year.
Senior year, okay. Yeah.
Senior year.
Okay, yeah, senior year. So now we get through COVID. Now senior year was like a half of it. It wasn't a full season.
It wasn't a full season. Like junior year was a full season.
Right.
Senior year was a half of a season. Like I said, I feel like those 2 years for me were just like, okay, so junior year, this is the year where there were a lot of girls that wanted to play basketball this year. And they made that a statement like, okay, this year we're actually going to have real tryouts because there's going to be a JV and a varsity team. I think it was like two or 3 days of tryouts, and then by the third day, that's when they made their decision. So in my head, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm going to still work hard because I feel like I deserve to be on varsity.
Mm-hmm.
But to them, that meant something completely different. I ended up being on JV as a junior.
After all this time playing varsity.
And for me, my confidence was shot down.
That, because it's 12th grade year when I got there, I'm like, and I seen it like, for me, so coming in your 12th grade year, COVID happened, IND shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Neiman becomes the AD.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Neiman gives me a call like, I need your help.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said, I need your help to help me build this program because me and Ms. Neiman been at 3 schools together. And she saw what I did with the girls that, like a lot of girls at the schools that we was at, I coached the JV team. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those girls didn't know how to play basketball, but she's seen how they developed over time and how quickly they developed and became a team. So she was like, I need you to come up here and help me build this program and get it, because she wanted to go to a conference. So like, she was like, can you get girls? I said, I can get girls at school. So, especially with my program. Mm-hmm. So I came to the school, and then sitting there watching y'all practice and stuff. It was a lot of side conversations. Like, it was a lot of side conversations with the girls from IND, where I came from, that I coached. It was a lot of side conversations to the point where they was like, man, I can't do this. So, and then from being there, then watching you play and other girls play, I'm like, well, why are you not, giving them a chance to get in? Like, even when like games are being blown out, man, still get them some play. She is senior, like, still give her some playing time. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And I'm like, she can play defense. She got a decent shot. Like, you beat their best player in the 3-point contest. You remember that? You remember beating Haley in the 3-point contest?
Oh yeah, that was fun. Now, Haley can shoot.
Yeah, you beat Haley in the 3-point contest.
Okay, I remember that was fun. Yeah, it was like, okay, like, I think one of the reasons why that was fun is because we never really did stuff like that. Like, practice is supposed to be fun. Like, yeah, you work hard, you work on your skills, get prepared for the next game, or just become a better player. I feel like a lot of our, like, obviously, repetition, practice makes perfect, but our practices were repetitive.
It was boring.
That's what I mean. Like, it was kind of boring. It was repetitive. Like, we already knew, like for instance, like Steph and I, or Steph, Deshae and I, like in our heads, like, okay, at this time we about to do this. After warm-ups, we about to do this. Then we about to run a couple suicides, do free throws. Like,
the practice was this. So I understand doing the same thing over and over again, because some certain stuff I do over and over again, but like it was the same everything over and over again. And that's when the side conversation, like Nyana, Nyana's like, oh, Steve, this is like middle school. I'm not getting no better. Like, it's because it's like middle school practice. I did all this. Like, it's not making me better. The competition wasn't there because y'all ain't never really played 5-on-5 full court hard competition.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so the competition wasn't there like that. So it wasn't like a very competitive practice, because after y'all did the little come down the court and footwork thing and all that stuff, after y'all did that, it was just like, okay, run 5 out, pass, cut.
They love a good 5 out.
And they ain't know how to do it. Like, but they taught 5 out, but the way they taught 5 out, it was just like cut
and fill.
Fill. It was, they ain't add the dribble act in there. They ain't add none of that stuff that really made the 5 out offense work really good. They just pass and cut, pass and cut, pass and cut. So when I do it, it's like dribble at, draft drive, throw it to the post, Laker cut. So
yeah, like you incorporated different stuff for the 5 out when we did 5 out in your practices. And I was just like, now I see why I like your practices a little bit better, because you incorporated different things that I at the time never seen before. So I'm like, finally some new scenery.
Yeah, their practice was so they had asked. So one day they came to my practice, right? Mm-hmm. So they came to my practice when I had my AAU team in there, and Tanaya was there.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, how you get her to work like that? She don't do that in my practice. And I looked at them like, I don't know what to tell you. She don't go that hard in my practice. I was like, well, I don't do that. Look, I don't know what to tell you. That she gonna go hard in my practice. I don't care. But like most of the practices, the girls was like, man, I don't even want to go to practice. This is so dull and boring. But what I seen, and I asked you, because I love the underdog. So when I see it happening, I say, I want that girl to be able to prove herself to people. So come and play for me.
I remember that.
All right. So look, I'm gonna get you better. Like, come on, just come and play for me. But one thing I was scared of was the simple fact, when you told me you had sickle cell, I was like, oh shoot. That's something I really had to watch out for. So when we was going on tournaments, that was like the first thing in my mind was putting you on the floor. Like, I gotta make sure, I make sure when she get out there, she need that rest, I gotta take out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that was one thing that really like was in the back of my mind, and like I gotta make sure that I wanna let her, play and develop, but also gotta worry about her health. Right.
Yeah.
Her health. I don't know if they felt that way. I'm not sure.
Oh, they knew. I let them know, and my mom didn't. My mom, like, when it came to the physical, down to everything, she always said every day, if you need a break, let them know that you need a break. Like, don't try to sit here and keep quiet and try to push yourself before you overdo it. So,
yeah, but I don't know if that was their excuse for not playing you that much. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I never thought of it like that. And even if that was the case, I mean, they don't really have to tell me anything, but they could have. I mean, they could have asked, and then I would let them know, like,
because when I see you get tired, I'm like, yo, you good? You all right? You know what I mean? Because the main thing I try to do is make sure, like, especially AAU basketball, if you're going to play AAU basketball, I want to make sure everybody play. Like, especially your parents paying and traveling. Like, why would I travel 200 or something miles not to see my daughter get on the floor?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, I wasn't worrying about winning no AAU games. My job was to make sure y'all got better for your high school and if you want to go play college and college basketball. Because we was getting our tails kicked sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
but it was still but the whole experience was fun. That was my first and last time playing AAU. and it was fun. Like I really enjoyed it. Like that's like a core memory for me. Especially like it was like a good way to end senior year.
Yeah. So, but I just thought like I don't know. I just thought that in certain because they did Kyler the same way.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I know. I kind of noticed it too.
They did Kyler the same way. When Kyler came, so when that picture right there was my JV team, down IND. Kyler scored like 20-something points a game.
Really?
Yeah, she was a beast. Believe it. She was a beast. Defensively, offensively, tough.
And she can run. Like, that girl fast. Like Phoebe. Yes. Her and Phoebe, they are quick.
So she would get knocked down. I mean, I literally seen this girl fall, and IND floor was not hardwood floor. It was a rubber floor. I done seen this girl go up in the air and come straight down. And we was like, yo, is she good? Okay? Like, and it was like, she got it for me. I'm over like, get up, you all right? When I tell you this girl wanted to walk out to the ambulance, she didn't want to get carried out on a stretcher. Like, she wanted to walk out to the ambulance. That's how tough she was. But when she got there, she said, Coach, my confidence just went. She said, all that stuff you taught me, she said, I lost it. I lost the confidence.
It like went out the window.
Yeah, she's like, she said, I stopped loving the game of basketball, all that stuff. She's like, so all that stuff you told me, she's like, all that stuff just, they just took it all away from me. Cause like, how you not play your best defender in the game? Like, she was your best defender. She could shut anybody down on defense. Had a little jump shot, could drive through the basket, but she was scared to do all that.
That's one thing that I could say that I definitely agree with. I was like, compared to playing for you, I feel like I was playing for them for so long. When it came to like AAU season, I was scared to do stuff. Like, you would not yell at me, but you were like, you could put the ball on the floor, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like with them, they would, like a couple of dribbles to them were like, are you dribbling too much? It's not like, oh, I'm dribbling just to hold the ball, trying to cross anybody up. Like, I'm just trying to like weigh out my options to see what I could do before I get rid of it. But in practice, like when it came to 5 out, it was like cut and fill most of the time, not really putting the ball on the floor. So it was ingrained in
your head,
my head, not putting the ball on the floor to the point where I wasn't even confident enough.
To the basket.
None of that.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with what Kyla said. Like, playing for them, like I said, my last 2 years, my confidence went all the way down. Not saying that it didn't have its perks, because playing JV as a junior, that was like, to me in my head, that was kind of embarrassing. Like, I'm like, dang, people gonna think like she been
playing varsity all this time. Now they put it down on JV.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm like, even now to this day, like, I'm trying to get out of that habit of always thinking negative or even worried about what other people gotta say about me. Because at the end of the day, I know who I am as a person, so why does it matter? But at the time, I had a friend tell me this. He was just like, he watched one of our games at home, and he was like, we had a conversation, and he was just like, I could tell you was playing scared. I'm like, what do you mean by that? He was just like, you weren't playing how you normally would play because you were scared of how people were going to look at you being a junior on JV. And I agreed, and that was kind of true. But playing on JV did have its perks. Like, I got more playing time, got to start. I guess like kind of like a little bit of a role player on the team, so it did have its perks. But then at the same time, it was a little bit of false promises, like, oh, like if you keep doing what you're doing, like we're gonna move you up. They didn't really move us. It was, who did they move up? It was me, Deja, and Brooke Meyer
Because Deja was saying the same, like she wasn't going to come back like her senior year. She wasn't going to play her senior year. Like, so like she felt the same way too. So, like I wasn't, and then I had all y'all come and play for me because I didn't want y'all leaving with having a bad taste in your mouth about basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Because I seen the potential, and I'm like, dude, like if I was there, I think if I was there earlier and I was a coach, I think I would have been much better. And that's just like this year, when I went to Newtown, same girl, y'all about the same size. Like she's the best teammate ever. She was the first girl on my show. She was like the best teammate ever. So I asked one of the players, like, what's up with her? Because I was doing cuts, and the girl like, Coach Steve, that girl don't complain. She works hard. She's like the best teammate, but they didn't really play her like that. Like, and he kept on putting her on a team, but he never really, played her. He said, when we get blowouts, she might get some time here and there, but he never really played her. So I was like, all right. So when cutting time came, I told her, I said, you got a choice. I said, I'm not going to cut you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but I'm not sure how much playing time you're going to get. So you can either accept that or you can be a manager. Because I don't want to cut you because you're a great teammate. And I think that this team needs somebody like you on the team. So she was like, okay, I'm fine with that. So I gave her role. I said, but one thing I am going to do, and I promise you this, I'm going to get you better if you decide to play. So she was like, all right, so she decided to play. And when I tell you she got better, she got better. Like the only fault of hers is that her footwork. So she would travel a lot on her first step. So I worked on that mostly the whole season trying to get her to do that. So she would get time here and there because I wanted to see how she'd be able to perform. It was one game, like, we was playing against Atlanta, like, nobody could score. Like, everybody, none of them could score. I put her in the game, and she scored the first 2 points. She scored the first 2, and she could play defense like I don't know what. So she got a lot of playing time in that game.
Mm-hmm.
But her confidence just grew and grew and grew, and I got her offer to play college basketball.
Wow.
Because I told the coach, I was like, dude, she works hard. I said, if by the time her sophomore year come, she's going to be a beast if she come and play college basketball. The reason why she didn't go is because she wanted to be an engineer.
So they didn't have a major program.
Yeah, they didn't have an engineering program. But she was just like you. Like, her shot became better. She always worked on her shot. And the thing about this girl is she paid attention to everything. So we're in film study, right? So I'm telling the one girl that one of our shooters, I said, see, if you look at the film, every time your ball go out the frame, it goes. Every time it stay in the frame, it don't go because it's flat. So it was one day she was shooting. I'm like, you hot today? She was like, yeah, because I remember what you told her. So I started shooting the ball with a higher arc. She said, I remember you telling her about, getting the ball up and stop shooting it flat. And that every time her ball go out the frame, it goes in. So she said, I just started, shooting like that. So she got better. And that's one thing I pride myself on is that if you're going to play for me, I'm not going to leave you behind. I want to try to do my best to get you better. Like, you're going to be better than what you was when you came to me.
Right.
And she wrote me a letter saying, so I had text her and I was like, I really want to tell you that you're really the best teammate and one of the best players I have ever coached. Like, ever. Like, her parents were so cool. My mother was like, look, I don't care. She's like, because and we're talking about, like, she's a real good teammate. She's like, look, she's like that at home. She's the best teammate at home. She's the same way. And I was like, you know what? I know you come and you watch her. She don't get as much playing time as you would like. She's like, no, man, I'm not worried about that. Like, she can get 2 minutes. I wouldn't care as long as she's happy. And she's like, she's happy. She's like, 2 minutes, 1 minute. I don't care. As long as she's happy with what she's doing, I'm not worrying about her playing time. and she's happy. So I'm like, cool. So when I wrote her the thing about her being a great team, she's like, you're the most productive coach I have ever had. Yeah. And this girl she played softball. She was a great she a really good softball player too. That was like, softball was her sport. So softball, she played basketball. I think she played another sport. Yeah, I forgot what other sport she played though. But, so we had an award ceremony. This girl cleaned up like the Oscars.
Really?
At the award ceremony. She got best everything.
Wow.
She cleaned, every time you stood up there, you heard her name getting awards. Like, every time. She got unsung hero for me. I think she got unsung hero or best something for me. And then she got another award for softball. So I think she got 2 awards for softball and another award. Like, and I told this one girl, I said, you get stuff like that when not because you're a great player, but because you're the best teammate. So you're the best teammate, and it's when it comes down to people voting for you, they ain't gonna look at the stats. They ain't gonna look at none of that. They're gonna see how you treated them.
Right, who you are as a person.
You're right, who you are as a person. So the best people that are the best people get treated the best. And like, she cleaned up, man. She really did. She really did good. And like I said, if I would have had you, your 9th grade year, you'd have been my starting point guard right now. Because when I tell you she listens, and she say, Coach, I'd be on the bench and I can see everything. She's like, you might as well say I was like a bench coach because I can see everything. And I tell people when they come and sit down, hey, watch out for this, watch out for that, stuff like that. That's being a great teammate. That's being a great teammate. So you remind me of her. Yeah, you remind me of her. Like, so like you mentioned, playing AAU, that help boost your confidence. Stuff, right? So let's talk about how your skills improved and what you learned during that time.
I remember, I think this was one day the coaches had texted us and was like, okay, on this date, we're going to have a summer workout. Mind you, they've never
had a summer workout.
No. I'm like, oh, okay. They're doing something different this year. They did, I guess. So I go to practice and you're there. And I remember that day at practice was kind of hard for me. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I might have been out of shape real bad. I don't really know, but it just running and like I just felt like really drained that day. And I just remember, I don't remember what drill we were doing, but like you pulled me off to the side and like you started helping me work on my jump shot. And then after that, like I noticed how like my shot and my form got better because at first people had mentioned it to me before, like, oh, Kaira, you shoot with 2 hands. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't shoot with no 2 hands. But like I actually shot the ball before and watched it on video, and then I could see like how my hands would like
both of them go like this.
Yeah, and then it would still end up like this at the end. I don't even know how, but I guess you saw what everybody else saw, and I didn't notice. And you spent like a good 20 minutes just helping me like work on my form. And then like from that moment on, I'm like, I like you because the other coaches, like they never, like I feel like they never, I don't know, like one-on-one, or they never really, like at least for me in my experience, they never really helped me improve on anything.
Because he was worried about Haley and them too much.
I don't want to say
I'm going to say it. I said it.
But that's
I said it plenty of times. Like, that's what they were just worried about.
I witnessed it. And I mean, there was always players from all 4 years that I knew, like, these are, like, y'all only focus on these people. Like, you don't focus on anybody else. Like, if it doesn't have to do with them, y'all are not really worried about it too much.
I'm going to tell you a little secret. They always had summer workouts. You just wasn't invited. I'm just gonna tell you, Haley and them used to be in that gym. Like they used to be in that gym. Haley and them, yeah, they stayed in that. I come down there, it'd be Haley and what's the other girl name?
Gabby.
Gabby in that gym, and Bill down there working them out. And then, but here's the thing. So, this is what the girls started noticing, and I started noticing it too. So when I used to, and this is why I had to stop, because if I didn't stop, I would have really cursed somebody out. So every time I went to go help a girl out, Bill will fall right behind me and say something to the girl after I helped her out. Every time. And the girls look at me like, hey, what?
Like you know what you're doing, right? Like, why is he?
Yeah, and Kaira, all of them said, like, why is this man always coming behind you every time you tell me to do something? He'd come right behind you and try to tell me something else. And they were like, I don't like that, because it seemed like he's doing it on purpose. I said, I know he's doing it on purpose. Like, it wasn't one time where I would go, like, he had, you know how they broke y'all up. I told y'all to go to the rim and practice y'all. Yeah. So I go to the rim, girl be shooting. I'm like, yo, like how can you, like, look, tuck the elbow in. Bill will come right behind them and say something to him. And I'll just be like, even Nyana said, Coach, can you, no, was it Nyana? It was one of them, like, Coach, can you tell him to stop talking to me? For real, they was like, can you, and then they was like, Tyler was like, every time they say something, they never tell me what I'm doing wrong. They always good job. Like and they be like, I'm not doing a good job. Yeah, like tell me what I'm doing wrong so I can get better. Like,
I remember I asked that question one time, like senior year, I didn't play at all. We didn't even have a real season. Games, right. Like we had a season, but I guess it was just like the league's way. Like, yeah, COVID's still going around. We're not gonna have playoffs or anything, but we're still gonna like let the teams compete. But it's not really gonna mean anything.
Right.
I didn't play that whole entire season, and I remember one time I asked the coach, like, you know, like, is there anything that I could get better on, because, you know, I'm not playing. I'm not, like, is there something that I'm lacking that is causing you not to put me in?
Right.
It was like one night, and then like he texted me the same night and said, you know, we're gonna talk about it tomorrow at practice. He pulled me off to the side and said, you do everything that we ask. You're not doing nothing wrong. Just keep working hard. That's what he said to me when he put me on JV too. He said the same thing. And like I said, he was giving me false promises, and he was like, you know, keep doing what you're doing. Like, we're going to move you up. Like if you keep doing what you're doing, we're going to move you up. By the time they moved me up, it was quarterfinals, semifinals. I think I played in the quarterfinals. Okay. But then like the semis and the championship, I didn't play. I'm like, okay. Senior year, he said the same thing. Like, just keep doing, like, you're working hard. You do everything that we ask. Like, just keep playing how you plan. So in my head, I'm like, okay, if I'm not doing anything wrong, then exactly what is it? And then like, I think in the same breath, Coach Bill turned around and was like, you know, our game, I think we played Bryn Mawr the following day. He was like, we might have to move you down to JV as a senior.
No, that wasn't gonna happen.
Like, it didn't happen. I mean, they didn't move me down. I mean, I didn't play that game regardless.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that he turned around and said, like, I wasn't doing anything wrong, but obviously I'm not good enough to compete with everybody else. And then another coach is telling me that they're gonna move me down.
Yeah, it was a lot of drama, because what's the name came to me one day and was like, yeah, I know he wanted me to do something, and this was like the year before I left. So I told Fred, I was like, yo, I'm not doing this. I said, I am not coaching with them no more. So I said, I'm gonna go and help. No, this is what I told him. So I gave him a proposition. I said, look, why don't y'all three just coach varsity? Y'all three. just coach varsity because the JV girls, they kept on asking me, can I coach now? They were like, coach, can you, they don't care. Cause they would leave the JV girls down there just doing anything and be just up at varsity.
That's what happened when I played. Like there was a certain point in time, like Coach Bill, Coach Bill was our coach for JV, and then Chris and John, they coach varsity. There would be times in practice where
Coach Bill, hey, y'all set up. Tell you to go do, y'all go form shoot, and here go right up there with varsity.
Yeah, and they work on 5 out. And I also noticed that junior year, I think that might have been the year that Haley came. That's when they started incorporating new plays and everything. I'm just like, wow, like I kind of felt bad on it. Like it was already bad enough that I was going through like a whole lot just being on JV. But it's just like now I'm missing out on an opportunity to learn new things because we were still doing 5 out.
Right.
On JV, like we never had any other play. Like I wanted to be a part of like what like the new plays that y'all were incorporating, the new drills that y'all were doing. Like I wanted to be a part of that. I felt like I was left out. But yeah, I did notice that like sometimes he would really leave us and then go on the other side.
I would be in the gym because I had helped the boys. Because again, when I got up there, I recruited both girls and boys. So the boys won the C Conference championship. I recruited like 5 kids that came up, 5 boys that came to the school that year, and then like 5 or 6 girls that came to the school that year. And then I had the girls from I&D, but the boys won and they won the C Conference championship. But I noticed like when I'm in the gym, because you know, I've always been in the gym. I'll be the first one in the gym. I kept it clean and all that stuff. So the JV girls were kind of like, Coach Fee, can you please coach us? He's not even doing that. And I would sit there and watch him. Like, he's not even doing anything with us. Their parents would come and say, can you coach now? So I'm like, and Freddie would get emails like, he's not doing anything with JV. They're not developing. And I said, Freddie, you really need to sit here one day and watch them practice and watch how to do the JV kids. Because they're not, I said, how are you going to build a program and you don't even teach a JV how to play?
Some people behind.
Right. And you don't even teach a JV how to play because they don't recruit. They ain't recruit since Haley. When I got there, is when all the recruiting came. They didn't recruit since Haley. So they didn't recruit. So how was you going to build a program not even developing your JV? So the JV girls was kind of like, Coach Steve, can you please coach? I said, look, I would love to, but I can't deal with them. I cannot deal with them because this man like, yeah, I know you and Bill has. I said, look, I ain't had no problem with Bill. Bill had a problem with me. And I think it's because I was getting the most attention and them girls was kind of me instead of going to him. So I think that was the problem with it. It wasn't, I ain't have a problem with Bill at all. He was an old guy that was stuck in his ways. Dude, if Bill would tell him how to shoot somewhere, I was like, yeah, he's telling me the right way how to shoot. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Like, but he had a problem with me. And how the girls gravitated towards me when I was helping him coach JV and stuff like that, and how they gravitated towards me more. But it was like one game we was playing. I forgot what the name of that. Mount the Sales. JV. And they was cooking us. I mean, it was 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. And I'm like,
well, dang.
I'm like, girls, you gonna change something? Like, these girls hitting threes, like, I don't know what. Some telling the girl, hey, you gotta put your hands up. What they gonna keep on hitting threes? He's like, Coach Steve, you not yell at the girl. I'm like, how am I yelling at the girls by telling them to put their hands up when somebody's shooting the ball?
That's one thing that I noticed. Like, you're like, I mean, you could yell just a little bit.
I do. I ain't gonna, and look, everybody know I yell.
But like, if you said do something, everybody was gonna do it.
Right.
They never like. I think with them, if you made a mistake, they'll wait till they take you out to say something, or they wouldn't even really say anything.
No, they'll take you out of the game. Good job. No, you did a great job. Good job.
But
sit you on the bench.
Just gotta.
But I'm like, and I ain't even yell. I just said, ladies, you gotta put your hands up, or they're gonna keep on hitting threes on us. He ordered Coach Steve, you know? I said, dude, I did not yell. Like, I just tell them they gotta put their hands up. Like, I said, you know what? You got this. Go ahead. And they killed us because nobody was putting their hands up. Nobody wasn't closing out on them because he wasn't telling them to do it.
Did y'all manage to score and stuff?
Yeah, we managed to score, but they beat us by like 30. They hit like 10 threes in the first half. He came out, ain't made no adjustments. They hit like 7 more. I'm like, dude, is you gonna like play man to man? Like you still in the zone and they killing you with the threes? Like, why you still in the zone?
Love a good 2-3 zone.
Yeah, so I was like, dude, come on. So I told Fred, I said, dude, look, if you don't give me this job, if I don't take over this program next year, I am done. I am gone. You gotta have it. So both of us wound up leaving.
I did. Really? That's so funny because I think after my senior year, the following year, Concordia went to the championship for softball, and I still had some friends on the team, so I went to go watch. And Freddie was there. But then I noticed, I'm like, you're not our AD anymore. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Like,
yeah, we both left because they was trying to make her do stuff she didn't want to do. They wasn't trying to really take the program to the next level. They was only worried about football. She was worried about every program, especially the girls, because they was putting, and everybody said it like, yo, they get the boys everything. So when we came there, we tried to make sure the girls was getting their fair share.
The longest time. I remember before Freddie, I think it was Coach Ward that was our AD.
Mm-hmm.
We used to beg like for basketball. Football was getting new uniforms, all this stuff. We used to beg.
Well, it's like that now again.
For new uniforms. It's so funny because you know how the school's sponsored by Nike now?
Mm-hmm.
I worked at the Nike store in White Marsh, and the coaches came in a couple weeks ago. I was telling some of my managers, I'm like, oh, like they coach football at my high school. And one of the guys was like, oh yeah, like we're trying to get them to
sponsor that.
Yeah, now look. They sponsored by Nike.
Yeah, they got the little like sponsorship, whatever. I mean, Joe did that. Joe a good guy. He's a good basketball. I mean, he's a good football coach.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, and he brought a lot of kids there. He built that football program, but that's where they putting all the money at. Basketball ain't getting nothing. Basketball ain't.
Didn't they win the Did they win the championship this past year or last year?
Last year they went to the championship like 3 years in a row, I think, and won 2 out of 3.
With
Coach Joe. The girls program went to the championship twice.
Was it Haley's?
It was Haley junior year and senior year.
Yeah.
Haley junior year and senior year because I brought Cole up there and a couple of other girls to help them out. They wasn't happy. They was like, Coach, you need to take over, and because they got blown out by Mercy twice, and I'm just like,
because they're in the B now. They moved up to B conference.
They back down to C conference now.
What?
Yeah, they moved back down to C conference because ain't nobody playing. May and I'm not playing next year. They said May and I'm not playing. They like, we're not playing with them no more. And this is May last year.
Wow.
This is her last year. She's not playing with them no more. They made Ruby quit. So Ruby was this girl. She played middle school, and I was coaching middle school because Freddie was like, all right, so I brought 3 girls up there, and they was really good. Well, 2, and then Cam came up there. So all of them they was really like good. Mm-hmm. So Freddie was like, I need you to coach the middle school because you brought them girls up here. I need you to coach them because I don't want them to leave and they don't stay here for high school, which 2 of them wound up leaving anyway because they didn't want to play for them. So they wound up leaving. Anyway, one of them wound up leaving on something totally different, but still, she at her 3rd school now, but they ain't want to really play for them. So they played the middle school. Now, when you was there for middle school, did they ever go to the nationals for middle school?
The boys did. We didn't. Our basketball coach was the headmaster at the time.
Yeah, he sucked. I don't care if you heard that. He sucks. He's the worst headmaster of a school that I said it. I'm sorry, y'all, but yeah,
What was his name? Freeman? Mr. Freeman?
That was the headmaster at the time?
When I was in middle school, he was the headmaster at the time.
That's not the headmaster now then. But the headmaster now.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
I think he was the headmaster my freshman year.
Yeah.
I think by that point he was.
Sucks. That's right. You gotta, but the thing is, you have to make him talk to you. Like, people don't even know who he is. We're like, who the headmaster around here? Like, for real. People like, I don't even know who he is. I don't even know how he look like.
I don't know why. Like, we always knew who he was. Maybe it's because Miss Johnson was like our English teacher,
right.
for 2 grades. So I think we just kind of like.
Yeah, but I'm talking about adults. Like adults, who's the headmaster? I say he's there all the time. He just don't talk to nobody. Like, I had to force him literally to talk to me. Like, I used to go right beside him, be like, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing?" He'd be like, "Hey, coach." And I had to force him to talk to me. But the year I coached in middle school was the year they decided after all this time to go back to nationals because we was killing everybody.
I think, was it my senior year when you was coaching middle school? I noticed. I'm like, okay.
We was killing everybody in middle school. So they decided to go to the nationals. Now, the nationals, 32 teams, 32 Lutheran schools teams, top 32 teams. Right? So we go to Indiana. Do you know, I was going up there. I was the only one, and we had 2 vans, right? It was 3 of them in one van and just me by myself in another van. And I had to drive all the way to Indiana by myself.
How many hours is that?
Long hours. And I drove by myself to Indiana.
While they got to take turns and drive.
Yes. So coming back, I told him, I ain't driving. I said, I don't know how. I said, somebody else can get in this van to drive it back because if I ain't driving, I will catch a plane and I will go home. I'm not driving back. You better have somebody else driving here or gonna help me drive. I ain't driving back. Right. Or these kids gonna be stuck here because I ain't driving. I told them I'm not driving. But the thing was, like, so we went up there and that was the first time that Concordia, 70 years of ever going to this program, that the girls and the boys never did it. That was the first team to make it to the Final Four.
What? Really? That's so wow.
That was like I said, when I played, team to make it to the Final Four.
When I played, we never made it to the nationals. I think the boys one year they might have, but they didn't make it. Well, obviously, if you're saying that, they didn't make it to the Final Four.
No, they didn't make it to the Final Four. But my girls' team was the first ones to make it to the Final Four. We wound up in 4th place. Like, what we should have won. Honestly, we should have won that tournament. It was it was a lot of parent involvement that caused us to lose that tournament because of some things they said to their kids that really, really like shrunk their confidence. And it was one of my best players. And like the last 2 games, she didn't play good. And that really hurt us because she ain't played the way that she should have played. And this one girl was killing us. And then the other girl that I had, the girl was talking trash to her. And she's like, "Coach, I said, it's basketball." Like she went to the other girl coach. I'm like, she out there talk. I said, "Look, coach, don't worry about that." I said, "Girl, you don't take your little tail on one." I said, "Coach, don't worry about that." Right, I'm like, don't worry about that. So she got in all of her feelings and stuff. So we wound up in 4th place.
But out of 32, that's
but
good.
Mind you, they never made it to the Final Four. The first coach that ever took them to the Final Four. We got the 4th place trophy, right? So you know where all the trophies at?
Upstairs, by the cafeteria.
Right, in the hallway.
In the display case.
That 4th place trophy ain't there.
For real?
Yeah. That's where that 4th place trophy is.
Wait, do you really want me to take a guess?
Take a guess.
Is it in the office?
Yep. Yep.
In Mr. Johnson's office?
In Mr. Johnson's office.
Oh, God.
Why the 4th place trophy in Mr. Johnson's office? Why? I'm like, Freddie, where's the 4th place? I'm like, why is it in Mr. Johnson's office? Like, it should be out here with the rest of them.
That's an accomplishment.
Exactly. Like, the first time that school and that tournament been going on for 70 years. And that's the school first time ever making it to the Final Four. dude, when I tell you the commentators was like, and people was like, yo, you got a team full of D1 basketball girls. And really, 3 of them, if they work hard, probably could go D1, but I don't. But our team was really good. The big 3 was really good. It's just the last 2 games, it was just we had their parents just those 3 girls. Their parents was just over. They just got to those girls' heads too much, especially Cam parents, the girl Cam, her parents, her father. They just got in their heads too much. Like I was like, dude, we really supposed to won that tournament. We supposed to have been in first place in that tournament. But you see the difference between somebody that's bringing people up to the school and then somebody not bringing the people up to the school. And then you'll accomplish so much, but you still give recognition to the people that didn't accomplish anything.
Right. That's not fair.
It's not fair, but y'all boys.
Yeah.
Because y'all grew up together. You know what I mean? So you don't want to fire him, but he's not doing anything. I'm the only one recruiting. I'm the only one talking to kids during a parent. You know how they had that thing up there for the kids when they first invite the kids. So I'm talking to all the basketball kids that's coming up there. They not talking to none of them. They just standing there. Like they're not greeting them or anything.
Like how are you supposed to build, like outside of basketball, outside of sports, I always felt like this for the longest time. The culture,
right? The culture
was weird.
Yeah, and that's what we was doing. When we got up there, when me and Miss Neiman got up there, we started changing the culture. The culture started changing, and I don't think he liked it. I don't think he liked it. Miss Newman getting all that attention because she was taking all the attention away from him. Everybody would go to Miss Newman. They would go to her. Everybody in the school loved her. They ain't show him the love that they showed her. So I think he was jealous of that.
Like I even had her for a class my senior year, and then like even in class, like we would talk to her about anything, like sports, outside of sports, like she just has like a really welcoming energy, and it's just like I feel like stuff like like there's certain stuff that like you could tell her that you wouldn't bother saying it to anybody else because they wouldn't understand, or they would just look at you like you're like
right. But he ain't helped none of y'all situation. Right. He ain't helped none of y'all situation. I had to get out there, and there's some people that's gonna look. Concordia as the educational part is really good. Like if you want to get your kid prepared to go to college,
the way to go. I think they prepared me for college. Yeah, I think I did pretty good in high school.
Yeah, the educational part is really good educational. School. They gonna get you prepared for college. The curriculum is kind of hard. I mean, but they get you prepared for college. But sports wise, if you're going to be a football, go because Joe's a good coach. Mm-hmm. They got a new boys coach, and then John's still there, but the other 2 not.
What?
I thought all 3 of them was gone, but Freddie told me John's still there, and it's this other guy that was coaching. He was coaching overly last year with my homeboy, and he was one of the football coaches at Concordia. So now they put him on John's staff. My homeboy taking over the overly job, but he ain't do nothing either. He ain't do nothing, so he ain't gonna do nothing up there either. It don't make no sense to me. I don't know. So, but football thriving. That's the only thing that's gonna be thriving up in that school. So, and before I left, I had 7 girls coming, and all I'm saying, if you're not coming, if you're leaving, we're not coming.
We're not coming.
Yeah, I had 7 girls coming up there, and so 2 of them up there for middle school, but they not staying.
So they gonna finish out middle school and then find another high school.
Yeah, but that's what most of the kids are doing up there anyway. Most of them kids don't stay at that school for high school.
That is. There's a few people that like at least I know.
Yeah, that stay there, but a lot of those kids don't. They retain I think Freddie was like they retain 35% of their kids from middle school.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know why I thought it was more than that.
They don't retain. They retain. They retain less than half of those kids. They go to a different. They go to the Cardinal. They go to the Calvert Halls and
John Carroll.
John Curls and all that for high school. They don't go up there for high school, so they don't retain it. They don't retain kids like that for middle school. But on that note, let's start talking about them because they're really draining. They're really draining. Good school though. Good overall academic school people. It's a good academic school. So, I mean, you want it. Academics is what you should be worried about anyway. But it's a real good academic school. So, all right. So, AAU's been really fun for you. It helps you gain your confidence back. You know, as far as basketball and stuff. So,
I wish I could do it all over again.
Yeah, a lot of people like all of them be like, man, we need to do this and do that and stuff. So they come back in the summertime when they go work out in the gym. The ones that's playing college basketball, Michaela and all. So they come in the summertime and go in the gym and hoop. I mean, you more than welcome to come next year, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw MK hoop this past year. I think so. Because she played my school. And I went to the game and watched.
Yeah. See, that was when she was a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she ain't played her sophomore year. Yeah, she ain't played the sophomore year. She left school.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she left. She's about to go to Essex.
So she's staying here. She not going to, what was it? St. Andrews?
Yeah, she left St. Andrews because they had too many coaches changes in like 1 year. So her sophomore year, the coach said she was coming back, but she didn't come back. And then the coach that they hired, he only stayed for like 3 games and then he left. Well, so she was like mentally it was messing with her. The coach that came wasn't working them hard. She used to call him like, man, this coach is not. She said, Coach, I don't even feel like I'm in shape. Like I'm getting in shape. He don't work as hard. Nothing like that. So because like I tell the girls, I spoiled y'all because like they can't go play for no soft coach. All of them call me and be like, Coach, this coach is too soft. I can't play for them. And so they don't. They want you to, and that's the type of girls that these coaches want. Like they want you to stay on them. Like they doing something wrong. They want you to get on them if they doing something wrong. They want you to push them to make them better. You know what I mean? That's how all of them are. Like. That's playing college basketball. Like they like, man, look, I can't with this coach. I can't with this coach. Like they want somebody to push them. And if you ain't gonna push them, then they gonna be like, I don't even want to play for you.
Right.
I don't want to play for you. And I said, man, that's my fault. I said that's my fault. They said, yeah, you pushed all of us over the edge. I said, I bet I did. Yeah. But so you proved yourself. You had proved yourself over and over again, right? So how do you stay motivated and keep pushing forward through everything?
Well, from a sports aspect of it, like sometimes I just look back on some of the experiences that I've had playing sports, whether being overlooked or just not feeling like I'm good enough, and I'm just like, prove to myself every day, like you're still here, you're doing other things with your life. Maybe there's things that you wanted to happen. Like you had dreams back then, like a couple years ago, that you wanted to happen. And maybe they didn't happen, but that doesn't mean like it's over.
Right.
Like there's other outlets and there's other things and other passions that you could find, that you could just be like, that you could just choose to pursue, and you never know like what you fall into.
I think like sports can be used as a vehicle in so many ways, and I think the stuff that you went through and the stuff that you learned builds your character,
right?
And it made you who you are today. It made you stronger. It made you better. It made you more confident in the things that you're doing outside of sports. Because most things that we learn in sports is life lessons, so it translates into the real world,
right? That's
why you see like a lot of people that play sports owns and runs Fortune 500 companies, because they, for one, they know how to work as a team. Another one, they're hard workers. They persevere. They don't give up on stuff so easily. And like I say, it builds character. So I think everything you went through helped you like become the person that you became, and just help build your character, and just to know, like, no matter what anybody else think, like you said, I'm gonna keep on going.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep on doing me.
There would be times where I would think, like, if I went a different route, let's say, for instance, like, what if I transferred or something like that?
You would never met me, so
yeah, that, or just like if I transferred, I probably wouldn't be the same person that I am today because, like I said, like those negative experiences, they just push me to work harder for what I want.
Right. So, what advice would you give a young athlete who might be dealing with similar health challenges or setbacks in their sports journey?
When it comes to health challenges, prioritize your health. Your health is very, very important. Like, if you want to play sports and you want to be physically active, or if you want to do anything, prioritize your health first, because you wouldn't be able to do what you want to do if your health is not up to par. That's number one. But any life challenges or life setbacks, I would say keep going. Just because you might be held back for a certain period, like what seems like a short period of time or what seems like a long period of time, it's going to pay off in the end. And theoretically speaking, let's say if it doesn't work out, there are other outlets that you can resort to. And those setbacks can open up other doors to other things other things that you didn't even know like you could do, or other passions that you didn't even know you can, like, right, that you have.
Right. So we always say, and just coming up with this, well, I ain't really just come up with it, but in a lot of things that I say and a lot of things that I put out, it always be like, a setback is a setup for a comeback.
Right.
You know what I mean? So because you have a little setback, that don't mean anything. It's just a setup for a comeback, because setbacks to me are lessons, right? So when you have that setback or whatever, you learn from it. So when you move forward, you know what to look for, and it just makes you better. Like, so it's setting you up for a comeback. So great advice for my young people out there. So looking ahead now. So you're going to take a singing again. Okay, I'm about to graduate. Yeah. So you looking ahead, that's just singing. Yeah. So what are your future goals? I know both in sports and, in life. You gonna try out this year again? No. Softball? Not you gonna manage? How about that?
I didn't even think about that, but honestly, I'm after attempting to try out this past year, I told my dad, I'm like, I'm done with trying to play D1 softball.
Oh, okay.
And as bad as it pained me to think about that and really say that, it's just, that's putting myself through a lot of stress and a lot of worries. Like, when I was trying to, that was the only thing that I was focused on. I wasn't, I was still focusing on grades and stuff like that, but it was just like I worked myself up so much. Like, I was making sure I was staying on top of everything. I don't really want to play.
No one do that no more.
Yeah, I don't really. And plus, it's because if, let's say, theoretically speaking, I do play, then I'm like, okay, I play for 1 year, then I'm done. Then what?
Right.
If I wanted to play at a high level, I wanted to play for a couple of years at least, like consistently, not just like a one and done.
Well, they just started a professional volleyball team. They just started one. Like, a lot of NBA players have backed it, and other players has backed it. Jermaine O'Neal's daughter was the first round pick. I'm like, why don't they do that for softball?
They should. I think they have pro softball.
They got pro. Yeah, but I mean, you don't hear about them.
The only thing that you might hear about, like, Team USA. Right. Like, even the other day, like the Olympics is going on and stuff, and then like at work, at my job in the break room, that's all we're watching is the Olympics. And I'm just like, out of all the thousands and dozens of sports that they have, stuff that you probably didn't even know existed. Right. Like, I was just like, how come it's not like an Olympic baseball, Olympic softball. Like, I wonder why that is.
I don't know. I know they have world. I think they had the world
baseball classic or something like that. Like, yeah, in America, like we have the World Series. Like, okay, but I think it's like the World Baseball Classic or something like that, where it's like Team USA and Team Japan, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I just think that like girl sports are growing right now. I just think that it need to be more in the forefront of I think because there's a lot of girls that play softball like after their college year. What am I doing? Like, can I go play professionally somewhere? Yeah, so I mean, it's just like it's not on television. I mean, I like watching softball. Like for real, I like watching softball, man. I used to sit there and watch my stepdaughter play, but I just think that like I got a thing I was about to put out on YouTube that 50% girls sports are up 50% now because it was declining. Like girl activity is supposed to decline in most sports. The only one that was really going up was volleyball. Really? Volleyball was skyrocketing. Basketball was going down. Soccer was going down. But volleyball was skyrocketing, going up and stuff like that. But I think it's about to turn back around because of the things that have been happening in basketball lately and stuff like that. Yeah, and then soccer lately.
I even said, like, I never really watched the WNBA. I'm going to be honest. Yeah. Like, I mean, I've been to, like, a couple of games, like a couple of years ago, a couple Mystics games, like my grandfather took me. And they were fun. And at the time, there wasn't a lot of people there. But now,
yeah, it's because you got your Batman, your Robin there now. Yeah. So you got drama. I mean, and with that drama comes some fans that, sheesh, oh my gosh. I don't even want to talk about that, but with that Batman and Robin drama, you got the wrongs. You bring in a lot of different fans that never watched basketball, never knew how it's supposed to be played, never knew that women's basketball was tough. Like, right. Dude, sometimes they tougher than the guys. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't cry as much as the guys now. You see guys in TV crying like, "Hey, that's foul," like that. You know what I mean? So, but. Like, women's basketball has always been tough, and now you got these people that supposed to be fans all of a sudden, come on there talking about they need to stop, man, so rough, and I'm like, man, shut up.
Like, wasn't like back in the day, like basketball was rough, like
really rough, really rough. But a lot of people don't know that when basketball first started. They used to play in steel cages. Yes. Because the crowd was so rowdy. Like, I was watching this documentary with Vince Carter. So they was going through the years of basketball. Basketball was actually played in steel cages. Like, it was wood like barbed wire and fence wire around it. Barbed wire. Yeah, so like, and the fans used to be like poking the basketball players with like, for real, sticks and like, yes, like you up against that fence, and I mean, it was like a steel cage match. Basketball was really rough, like I mean, rough. And they used to play in a little steel cage, and man, I'm telling you, and fans, they wasn't sitting in stands; they were standing around the cage, and yeah. So y'all think basketball rough now? You should have seen when they first started playing and started playing professionally and. In them cages, that's
make people reevaluate. Like, oh, this is kind of a luxury. Like, I don't have to worry about
people used to burn their cigarettes out on players and all that stuff.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, yes, it man.
I can imagine.
Yeah, people crying about.
You worried about the defender the whole time somebody
putting a cigarette out on you in a cage, small cage. You can get knocked up against the cage. And, you know what I'm saying? There wasn't no rules. There wasn't really no rules with that. But who knows? But I'm so happy you came on.
Thanks for having me.
On the show.
This is fun.
Yeah, it is, ain't it? Mm-hmm. I love it. I mean, I love it. It all started from that book behind you. Yeah, that's all about y'all. It's all about all the girls I coach. So embodied in that one little girl. Yeah, embodied in that one little girl. So you know how you had that one girl that's out there playing basketball where nobody really want to coach her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you got a retired coach that's watching her play that didn't like the coach ain't want to like coach anymore.
Right.
Because of the the environment or whatever. So in the book, he's sitting down at the basketball court watching her play and watching her play real hard. So it's the gist of the story. The ball bounced by him. They get to talking. He tell her his name. She like, oh, you're the great Coach Q from such and such, won all the champions. Can you coach me? He was a little reluctant.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I don't do that no more and stuff like that. So the book is really good, people. So go get the book. Like, I don't put out trash. Like, my sister just read the book and was like, oh, the book is really, really good. It ain't just for kids. It can help out adults too. It's a really inspiring book. It's called Full Court Dreams, JJ's Journey Through Basketball and Life. Get it? It's a really good book for you and your kid. And then I already wrote the second part of the book. I just didn't put it out yet.
Oh, you putting it out in parts?
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out when I want to get out about a year. But I just put that out this year in January. So I want to get that book about a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
To really get out there. The second one is a prequel. So the second one will talk about Mr. Q's whole life and then tells you about why he quit coaching basketball. So that'll be out soon. So I'm telling y'all, get the first book, and then when the second one come out, you're gonna be like, aha, okay. Yeah. See? That's how things work. Right. I'm gonna leave you in suspense. So go pick up the book. Yeah. Full Court Dreams. Right?
Make sure y'all go get that.
Go get that. Oh, let me stop saying that. But yeah, go get that. Go get that book. It's a real good book. So, okay. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. It was so fun talking to you. I ain't really had to sit down and talk with you in a minute. Man, really amazing, man. I always love having my girls come and we just talk. We chop it up. We talk about, the things that are going on. Then we get into some other stuff like we did with Concordia and just chop it up. Ooh, my eye. Sorry for scratching my eye, but allergies. Yeah, but it's always nice, catching up with y'all and seeing what y'all doing. And believe it or not, I basically know what all y'all doing because
social media.
Yeah, I keep up with y'all. So I keep up with every last one of y'all. So I know what y'all doing. I keep up with every last one of y'all. But it was really, really fun having you. And I want to do a show with all of y'all.
That'd
be dope. Yeah, I want to try to get all y'all. So hopefully we can do that in season 2 and get everybody in here together and have a show together and have more room.
Kind of reunite everybody because I know everybody is kind of like
all over the place. Yeah, so we want they closed down our favorite restaurant, so we can't even go meet there no more. Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
What restaurant was that?
BJ in Tulsa.
The
by the movies.
For real?
Yeah, they shut that down.
Oh.
Yeah, they shut that down.
Dang.
Crazy. They shut it down. Yeah, that's crazy. Kind of mad about that. That was our meetup spot. Kind of mad about that though. But again, great having you here, man. I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know it's about 8 o'clock. I got a lot of editing to do for the rest of these videos, but it was really, really great having you on the show. So yeah, story was really inspiring. I hope it helps some of our listeners out there that's going to be listening to this. I hope the story really helped them out, especially the ones that's fighting, certain illnesses and stuff that's stopping them from, doing the things that they want to do, or they gotta fight to do it. I just think your story was really inspiring. It's always been inspiring to me, because I know how hard I don't know, but I do know how hard having sickle cell could be. Because I had to have that talk with the doctor a couple of times. And then I had to make sure my son had that talk, because if he have baby by somebody that also had a trait.
Yes, it's a 1 in 4 chance.
Right, it's a 1 in 4 chance that kid will have sickle cell. So he had to have that talk with them too. But so if anybody want to follow you and follow your journey and follow your story, where can they find you at?
People can follow me on Instagram.
Okay, the gram.
Okay, it's at ITS. It's Kaira, KAIRA._. So the whole thing is at it's Kaira._.
Yeah, that is at Kaira._. I'm gonna mess it all up. So y'all heard that. I'm just going to mess it all up if I say it. So y'all heard it. But for our listeners, don't forget to check us out. I send you to one place only, because I got a lot of platforms. So you go to my link tree for the latest updates. Check out my merch. So go to my link tree at linktree/SQ basketball. Go there to check out my Facebook, Spotify, all my platforms where you can listen to the show. You can get merchandise, comment, everything. So go on my link tree SQ, Basketball Chronicles. All right. And look, people, just remember, every underdog has their day. I'm Coach Q, and I'm out.